I've never seen that gimmick before, and I thought it was pretty inventive.
All right, I found Sky News has an ICS file of all the matches, so I imported that.
Nice.
Not as nice as what I had 2014, but it works. So yeah, now I've got, I'll be up at 5 a.m. to watch Egypt, Uruguay.
By the way, that is the difference between the U.S. making the World Cup and not, right? Is that like if the U.S. were in it, there'd be a lot of random people doing a lot of random legwork so you could be interested in the World Cup.
Yeah, probably. Ooh, I wish France Australia wasn't at 3 a.m. on Saturday. I'd love to watch that, but I ain't getting on Saturday.
To the Athletic, Tom, and we'll get a cooler of beer and we'll till after 3 o'clock.
Excellent.
A vintage cooler at that.
Well, I'm coming in Saturday to San Francisco to record the Gallium audiobook with Veronica Belmont.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
This Saturday?
Yeah, just for the day.
Well, why don't you move that up to Friday night and we'll stay up all night watching soccer?
Because I want to be awake to record.
Priorities. Sure, this is a business opportunity.
But I could watch Peru versus Denmark at 9 a.m. Saturday morning. Because we're not recording till 12.
It's going to be awesome.
What's that?
Portugal, Spain should be great.
Portugal, Spain. When? Oh, that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 11.
Messi passes tomorrow. Looks like there you go. That's what it sounds like when I have it on the background. I remember one year there was a whole hospital thing that I won't go into. It was sad. But we were watching World Cup in the hospital, and the only way you could get it was on the Spanish station. So we were just watching it in Spanish.
Oh no, I will oftentimes prefer division soccer.
What if you can spray paint plants?
Oh, Roger, we didn't even talk about your
my issues. It's going to be so expensive.
City's making Roger water twice his weight in lawn.
Oh no! All right, BRB.
Expanding the easement.
Oh yeah, Raj. Sorry if I missed this.
Did you got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
They're expanding my. They're bulbing out my corners of 4 corners, but mine is the largest because it's like a 3-way intersection. But they're literally taking the easement lawn that I used to water, and they're like literally tripling the amount of lawn I have to water that isn't directly mine.
And telling him he can't put drought-resistant plants in, which I think is ridiculous.
That's insanity. What can you put in?
Nothing. The city puts it in. It's city property, but I'm responsible for it.
That's why they say no drought-resistant plants, because they probably have a deal. It's not even about cost so much, but they probably have a system where, like, whenever we do this, we get the grass from this guy. He comes in, puts it in. We don't want to have to change that up for you.
That cost is borne by me. So, of course, there's the cost.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's not about cost. It's about trouble. They're like, we have the guy that we call to do this. We don't want to have to come up with a new person and educate them.
I was talking to the contractors, like, dude, I don't think you have the water pressure to activate all the sprinklers it would take to cover that area. Like, unless like I water that area and don't use the water at home for 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
All right. Yeah. Do you all feel good about the show?
Feeling good.
Yeah. Feeling groovy?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sarah, if you would read the pre-roll today.
I would.
Then I will be happy. Here we go. 3, 2.
Daily Tech News Show is powered by you. To find out more, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/support.
This is the Daily Tech News for Thursday, June 14th, 2018 in Los Angeles. I'm Tom Merritt.
And from Studio Feline, I'm Sarah Lane.
From the shores of Lake Merritt, I'm Justin Robert Young.
And outside of a dirt moat, it's Roger Chang.
Hello, I am outside the dirt moat because they're doing a bulb out of my intersection. They're going to lay me with new lawn. I got to water. That's not even mine, and I can't control. But hey, I'm responsible for it.
But other than that, everything's great.
Everything's great.
Turned into a 45-minute monologue Roger just savaging his city.
I would. Yeah.
Hey, it's more than Roger usually tells us.
I know.
I'll take it.
Sure. Let's start with a few tech things you should know.
Amazon's Web Services launched its Deep Lens deep learning camera for all developers in the US anyway. Deep Lens is a 4 megapixel or 1080 pixel video camera with 8 gigs of memory, a 2D microphone array, an Intel Atom processor, and has USB, micro SD, and micro HDMI ports. The camera runs on Ubuntu, aims to help developers build their own deep learning applications. With support with AWS Greengrass, which is the glue-on machine learning library, learned a lot today, and SageMaker, which helps developers deploy custom machine learning models. Deep Lens is shipping today, again within the US, for $249.
I think this is a great thing. And for $250, that's a fairly powerful idea. Google announced updates to its advertising tools designed to help users know why they see certain ads. Now users will be able to go into their Google account, click on the ad settings, and scroll through the list of factors that are considered as the algorithm figures out which ads to serve up. So if you want to know why you're getting ads for a blue sweater because you literally just bought a blue sweater, they will show you that you just bought a blue sweater.
For me, it was a reminder that the algorithm ain't good. Like, I search a lot for the St. Louis Blues. It said I'm really interested in blues music in my ad settings.
Oh my God.
Yeah. In February 2017, Verizon added an unlimited data plan for its US mobile customers. Unlimited meant you could use as much data as you want, but Verizon could slow you down anytime it wanted. So it was unlimited in their ability to slow you down. A plan called Beyond Unlimited lets you use as much of the service as you want as long as it's less than 22 gigabytes, after which they can slow you down anytime they want. And now Verizon is pushing the boundary of words and meaning with a new plan called Above Unlimited that lets you use as much of the service as you want as long as it's less than 75 gigabytes, after which they can slow you down whenever they want.
Nothing goes above unlimited. I'm too fast.
Yeah.
I mean, 75 gigabytes is pretty good.
As a limit, people. Yes.
Yeah.
For a third misnamed unlimited program? No. Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about USB security.
By the way, current period, 104 gigabytes for me. Apple confirmed that in iOS 12, it will introduce USB restricted mode so that when a phone is locked for more than an hour, the Lightning port can only be used to charge the phone until the passcode is entered. This would stop thieves or other malicious actors who get physical access to your phone from easily being able to steal your data. It will also likely force companies like Celebrite and Grayshift to come up with new ways to unlock iPhones for law enforcement.
I mean, we talk about thieves and malicious actors, but law enforcement is also in that category.
No, this one gets me. I'm glad you brought this up, Sarah.
Tom, this is a story about how Apple versus the FBI has been escalated, and now
every headline agrees with the way Sarah just said it, which is this is about law enforcement. That is not what this is about at all. It impacts law enforcement. You're right in saying that, but this is about securing your phone. That's why Apple's doing it. Apple isn't doing it to upset law enforcement. Apple's doing it because if they don't do this, then bad actors are going to steal your phone. Maybe not your phone, but they're going to steal phones and they are going to get data off them. And Apple would be remiss if they allowed the vulnerability to continue to exist. For law enforcement, it makes their job more difficult. I'm not going to deny that. However, companies like Celebrite and Grayshift are very good at finding new ways around things, which is the constant state of security, which is somebody fixes a vulnerability, somebody finds a way around it. But this story should not, in my opinion, be reported the way it is being reported. It is irresponsible. This story should be Apple is securing your phone against thieves and bad actors, which has a negative impact on law enforcement, not lead with law enforcement.
However, and you're right, Tom, however, the people who are crying foul the most are in law enforcement.
I mean, are they, or do we just not hear the thieves crying in public?
Right.
Well, okay, sure, but
Now, the way these things are done by both law enforcement and bad actors are the same exact solution. So you can't say we are taking steps against bad actors without the law enforcement saying, okay, well, that's how we do it too. So now the question is, do we deliberately make things less secure? And Apple has been entirely resistant in creating a backdoor for their services for law enforcement. That's what I think law enforcement would prefer to have happen. Apple has been resistant to it. So this is just them actively trying to make your phone more secure. I think Tom's right. And I loved his Keith Olbermann rant. Yes, sir. Resign, sir.
All right. But good points all around.
Okay, moving on. Let's see how fired up you get about Snapchat launching its new SnapKit, a set of APIs that lets other apps use Snap's login for sign up or to make their own Bitmoji avatars or display public stories and Snap Map content or make branded stickers with referral links. Now, launch partners include Tinder, where you can, have like a cute Bitmoji, so you can date more easily. Patreon, Postmates, also launch partners. A privacy measure, though, does actually put this apart from something like Facebook because you can't access the apps cannot access your information if you're inactive for 90 days. And SnapKit apps can't ask for things like your email address or your phone number, how old you are, where you live, or who you're friends with. And Snap is definitely leaning into that a little bit to say, like, we're privacy first, but I don't know.
I think it is entirely responsible for Snapchat to create an API that is locked down and protects your personal information. This is a pretty good thing here.
Well, it's funny because it's like, hey, we're privacy first. Facebook had that, Analytica scandal, right? So we're not going to do that. But I also sort of read this and I think, okay, well, for third-party apps, let's say I'm on Postmates and there's some easy Snap integration I can use. But if you can't access a lot of my data, it is a little bit limited. So,
Yes, but I would rather them start this way and say, what do we run up that doesn't work? Because for me to be able to take a snap in Snapchat and say, oh, put it on Tinder for my profile, that doesn't need any of my personal information. That all that needs is a relationship between Tinder and my Snapchat account. Tinder doesn't need to know anything about my Snapchat account other than the name and login. So it's going to work well for a lot of things. And then we'll see if they're like, well, it doesn't allow us to do this and we'd like to do that, and how they handle that.
I also wonder whether or not some of the, Patreon is one of the launch partners for this. Patreon has their own feature where you have Patreon Lens, where you take Snapchat-esque stuff and you post it to your patrons. That is a benefit of them having the Patreon app on their phone. I wonder if it's going to be cross-posting, because that is where I tend to find this to be the most interesting. Snapchat has had a tremendous amount of very, very viral content only become viral when it gets off their platform. And that was part of the reason why Instagram Stories was able to get a foothold, is that it became very easy for Instagram Stories to be the first place you shoot something, then you cross-post it into Snapchat.
And the way the API works, you can't put the Snapchat camera in, say, the Patreon app.
Yeah.
But you can take a snap in Snapchat and send it to another app, as long as that app's using the API.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sony finally responded to the anger over the fact that the PS4 does not allow cross-platform play in Fortnite with the Nintendo Switch or Xbox. Here's what they said. We're always open to hearing what the PlayStation community is interested in to enhance their gaming experience. Fortnite's already a huge hit with PS4 fans, offering a true free-to-play experience so gamers can jump in and play online. 79 million PS4s sold around the world and more than 80 million monthly active users on the PlayStation Network. We've built a huge community of gamers who can play together on Fortnite and all online titles. And hey, we also offer Fortnite crossplay support with PC, Mac, iOS, and Android devices, expanding the opportunity for Fortnite fans on PS4 to play with even more gamers on their platforms. So, if I may summarize, we'll listen to you. We have the best-selling console, so we don't need to do anything about it. We have a lot of people play Fortnite, and we are cross-platform on PC, Mac, iOS, and Android. So get used to it.
Well, doesn't this seem like kind of an antiquated, doesn't this feel like the last of these kinds of decisions that'll be made to protect the walled garden?
As long as consoles, it kind of ties right into like, how much longer are we going to have consoles really?
Yeah, because it seems like now there's just everything is by default. Everybody interacts with everybody, and it seems it's such a vestigial organ of the old console wars, where it's like, nope, if you're on this, then you're not on the other thing.
And honestly, the only reason you do this is because you actively don't want people on Xbox and Switch to be able to use the PS4, because you want to encourage people to use the PS4 to play stuff and sell more PS4s, because you're the leader. You do the cross-platform if you're from behind, because you have less to lose.
But also, I don't even think that consumers even understand that these days.
Oh no, they don't
so much. Now it's just, oh, I want to play with Jimmy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I was making this point the other day, maybe it was yesterday's show. It's like, when you think of it in terms of like, where do I see Netflix? Right? I love Netflix. What are the hardware options I have? If there are hardware options that shut me out of that, that's just, I don't know, as a consumer, like, I'm not interested. So this is all, it's starting to feel a little long in the tooth. Like, you can only play this game on this certain console.
Yeah. And the other thing W Scottus 1 reminds us is a side effect of this policy is, if you have a PlayStation 4 and a Nintendo Switch, when you play Fortnite on the Switch, you can't log in with your Fortnite account because it's tied to the PS4 and it's not compatible. So it causes you to either not use the Switch for that or create a second account.
Well, no wonder people are mad.
Yeah.
Or bring your PS4 on the train, plug it in, television, and play it the way God intended. Sources tell Reuters that Microsoft is working on its own tech to replace cashiers and checkout lines from stores, similar to Amazon's Amazon Go store, which opened in Seattle in January, and plans to open more stores in Chicago and San Francisco. Microsoft reportedly has shown sample technology to retailers and has had talks with Walmart on a potential collaboration.
So this is really interesting to me because it's, that I haven't been to the Amazon Go store in Seattle, but I've heard it is fairly seamless. But imagine Microsoft making a deal with Walmart. How many cashiers does Walmart currently employ? A lot.
Yes.
So if we were to wipe out those cashiers, and again, I'm not trying to, be sensationalist about this, but if you were looking, 5 years down the road, this is a great money-saving deal for Walmart, potentially, whether they partner with Microsoft or Amazon or anybody else who's doing this.
Well, and usually what happens in those cases is everybody freaks out and thinks they're going to fire all the clerks. They don't fire all the clerks. They're like,
No.
there are other things that we didn't have enough people to do before and couldn't afford to hire, and now we can because we save money on the clerks. We'll take those clerks and we'll have them do other things. Maybe it ends up with a loss of jobs. It's possible. You're not wrong, but it's never as bad as it sounds. So I do not like this knee-jerk reaction of like, something's going to be automated, we're going to lose all the jobs, because it's the same as saying, wait, you can download an MP3 for free? That's a lost sale. It's like, no, the two don't actually equate, because that's not actually how it works in practice. So you need to take a more measured approach to like, okay, how much are they going to change jobs and where are those jobs going to go?
I also think that this is maybe getting 3 steps ahead of where we are in the board game, in that
Oh, totally. Yeah.
it is Walmart's job to investigate better ways that people can spend money at Walmart's. And I will say, I was personally there for the Walmart in Margate, Florida, where they put in a automated checkout, and it was so complicated for the average Walmart consumer that they took it right out in 2 months. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, this is a long way from that, because the Amazon Go store does work. If Microsoft can replicate that, I think the big story here is something we thought would never work because of what you're talking about actually worked with Amazon. They're going to expand it, and now they have competitors. Rather than being like, that can never work, now it's become a platform that people are imitating.
But here's the interesting thing that Amazon has a tremendous advantage on. You'll have an Amazon account, and your Amazon account has a good credit card tied to it. So all they need to do is tell you to download one little thing, not, all right, you want to walk in and buy a thing? First, download an app, and then make an account, and then connect your credit card.
Let's move on to Elon Musk, shall we?
Yes.
Elon Musk's Boring Company won a bid to buy a high-speed express train to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport from the city's downtown area, confirming a previous Bloomberg report, which Boring Company confirmed on Twitter. Boring Company launched 18 months ago. It's fairly new. Thus far, hasn't actually had a deal like this. It's been digging a test tunnel in the Los Angeles suburb of Hawthorne. No government funding is involved in this deal, which means Boring needs to finance the construction cost itself. Elon Musk, okay, probably has a lot of money, but still. The winning bid also means that Chicago will negotiate exclusively for Boring for 1 year over details of the project, figure out something, then will require approval from the city council. So no digging is happening at this moment, but it will potentially be a great deal for what I believe is about a 40-minute subway ride from O'Hare to downtown.
Turn that 40-minute ride into 12 minutes. Mm-hmm. And the way it's going to work, in case you're confused, like, wait, the Boring Company, is that Hyperloop, or isn't that the thing where you take your car down an elevator? It's none of that anymore. It keeps changing. Right now, it would be sleds with like Tesla type bodies that would hold up to about 18 people and luggage and leave like every few seconds. So you wouldn't take your own car into it, but it also isn't a Hyperloop.
No, you'd be able to get off and just get into downtown really fast. You'd have to imagine that no government funding tidbit of this story is probably the reason why they won the bid.
Oh, yeah, because Musk gets to keep all the transportation fare revenue and advertising revenue, and wants to sell people stuff in the pods. So sell them like headphones and snacks and stuff like that. Folks, if you want to get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes, be sure to subscribe to dailytechheadlines.com. All right. Big fight shaping up in the EU over copyright. We've touched on this briefly in the past, but this is something that, especially if you're in the EU, you want to pay attention to. Maybe write your member of European Parliament. And if you're not in the EU, keep in mind, GDPR was an EU law that impacted a lot of people outside the EU, and this could have knock-on effects as well. The EU Parliament's Legal Affairs Committee is going to vote on Articles 11 and 13 of the Copyright Directive on June 20th. Article 11 is what's being called a link tax or a neighboring right, or sometimes a snippet tax. It would require companies to pay publishers when they use short extracts of text or images when linking to the publisher's content. Now, this is something where the publishers have wanted Google to pay them for using this. They've tried it in Germany. A very similar law in Germany was put forth, and publishers ended up issuing Google a free license in order to ensure they got listed, because Google said, well, we're not going to pay, so we'll take it off. This new Article 11 law would modify this to try to get around that, to stop the free license. Spain tried to stop the free license by saying you just can't, you have to pay no matter what, causing Google to stop offering Google News in Spain. Traffic to Spanish newspaper sites declined as a result by 6% or more. Again, the way they're talking about implementing Article 11, it probably wouldn't be as burdensome as the Spanish version was. So there's a lot of thought that, well, maybe Google could just pay it, but it will keep smaller companies from competing with Google because they won't want to pay it. That's Article 11, the snippet tax or the neighboring right. Article 13 is a mandatory upload filter. This one's a mess. I'll get into this a little more, but the idea is that it wants sites to stop copyright infringing material from being uploaded. Now, originally they were saying you'd have to have some kind of content recognition technology, but then everyone said, well, hold on. EU's e-commerce law specifically forbids EU countries from imposing a general obligation on providers to monitor information. So now the latest version says the implementation of measures by service providers should not consist in a general monitoring obligation. But what does that mean? If you're like, hey, you should filter out copyrighted material from being uploaded if there's no license for it, but also you don't have to monitor the usage. Well, then how does that work?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Who monitors?
So those are the two articles. the biggest problem with Article 11 to me, I'm going to switch back to that one. That's the link text. That's the neighboring right. That's the one where publishers say, hey, Google, you on your Google News product, you keep putting up an image from our site and the headline from our site and the first paragraph or the first sentence from our site. You should pay us for that. And there's language in this law, in this article that says, these big companies, they go and they scrape all this data and put it in their own database and make money off it. That's not fair. They should pay us for that. And that sounds reasonable when you put it like that, unless you realize that every one of these publishers can stop Google from doing that. There's something called a robots.txt file that they can put up on their site and say, no Google allowed. Google can't scrape our site, and Google will respect that and not scrape your site. So the problem is the publishers want Google to scrape the site, but they also want Google to pay for the privilege of the scraping of their site that the publishers want.
So we can call this what it is: protectionism.
I guess it's a form of protection. It's not protectionism in one country trading with another. It's protecting my business model. It's actually not even protectionism though, because it's creating a new revenue stream.
No. But it's a deterrent. Like there was a reason to not do it, and if you want to get around the reason to not do it, you can pay for the privilege to do so. But that is protectionism.
I mean, there's no deterrence. They're saying. What they're saying is, we don't want to stop you from scraping our site. Please keep scraping our site and then pay us for it.
No, but again, yes, I'm agreeing with your motivation. But the dark side of that moon is if you don't pay us, you can't do it.
Right. It's illegal for you to do it. So Google could say, well, we're just not going to run Google News in all of Europe. There's no indication that they're going to do that, though, like they did in Spain, though.
I would hope that they would shut it down. I mean, this is a law that I think is there. Like this is there because they want to continue to prop up these entities, or these entities have a strong lobbying effort within, the European Union. And I would say that's A, it's bad for the internet. B, it doesn't really achieve what, again, like you pointed out, what they really want. If they really didn't want Google to scrape them, easy for that to happen.
Yeah. There's already a mode. And then you could say, hey, we'll take down the line in robots.txt that says you can't scrape our site if you pay us something. Like, you can already make them do this, but they know Google will say, well, no, it's not in our interest to pay you for that. We send a lot of traffic to you. And in Spain, traffic declined by at least 6% when we disappeared. So you're going to benefit if we keep doing this for free. And the publishers know that they can't win that argument, so they want the law to force Google to pay them anyway.
Yeah, because they want to add another revenue stream. Old media in general, and we will define old media by people that still have to pay a printing press to print out a thing and therefore have much higher overhead. They are watching those circs decline. They are facing a world where now, in the next 10 years, they're going to have to make very serious decisions about what they're going to do with effectively how they've made their money their entire existence. And they want new revenue streams in the in-between. They see a gigantic cash cow. Why should they be making all the money off us for free? It's not fair, Tom. There ought to be a law.
Well, yeah. And my response is, well, then stop them from using your stuff. You have that power.
No, I need money to make sure that they have a safe harbor of transition.
Exactly.
This stuff, and when I go totally online.
Yeah, it's funny. I just saw eBarch said, it seems like we need a technological solution to this, not a law. There already is. It exists. Done. Yeah. It's there. And then, we didn't get into Article 13 as much as I would have liked to, but that one's just a nightmare. It's just going to end up in lawsuits because it's like, you need to filter, which means that there's going to be a chilling effect, just like there is on YouTube, which is like, well, we think it might be copyright infringing, so we're not going to allow it, meaning fair use, memes, anything that's on the edge would be gone from a lot of sites. And then you don't know if you're not supposed to monitor, but how do I not monitor, but also filter? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, probably more to discuss on a later show. But for now, we want to thank everybody in our sub or Reddit. You can submit stories and also vote on author stories to let us know what you care about. dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. If you want to hang out on Facebook, great. Facebook.com/groups/Daily Tech News Show is where you can talk to us there.
You should email us feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com and let us know what you think about all this stuff. What, for instance, who emailed us today?
Michael from, he calls it, I hope we don't hit 100 today in Texas. Sorry, it sounds like it's very hot in Texas. It's actually really nice where I live. Michael has a little bit of a conspiracy theory. So let's just go with this for a second. He says, the timing of two announcements this week made me wonder if they are perhaps connected. Intel is talking about a new gaming GPU for 2020. Microsoft is talking about a new Xbox console in 2020. Maybe Intel and Microsoft are working together on this. Just a thought.
I'll be honest, when I saw Michael's email, I was like, no, just because they're both announcing it for exactly the same year and Microsoft and Intel work, you might be onto something. I was like, that's how my thought process went.
Right. Yeah. Hey, 2 years away. Michael, yeah, if you're right, we'll buy you a beer.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're working together.
Exactly.
But if you start to say,
one could conclude.
If they did, would it make sense? Yeah, it absolutely. I could absolutely see Intel going to Microsoft saying, hey, we'll partly design. I mean, they made a point of saying their new GPU would be designed for gaming. We'll design this to be workable for your Xbox and for Windows gaming PCs. I mean, that just all fits. It's not evidence that it is going to happen, but it certainly would make sense if it did.
Speculative, but Michael, again, if you're right, we'll buy you a new air conditioner. Thank you for the email. Thanks to everybody who emails us every day. And also thanks to Justin Robert Young for being here. What's been going on since we saw you on Monday?
Justin.
He's like, nothing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been having a really good time here. I have no idea how long that's been muted. I'll tell you what, here's what I've been doing. I've been writing my free political newsletter at freepoliticalnewsletter.com. Go ahead on over there and sign up, please. It is 5 days a week, 5 links, gifts, few hot takes, many of which recently have been from Arrested Development. Gifts, not the hot takes.
But the gifts are good too, I'm sure.
Gifts are pretty good.
Good stuff.
Excellent. Also, I want to thank every one of our patrons out there for supporting the show at patreon.com/DTNS. Our goal every month is to actually get just at least one, if not more, patron than last month. And we're about halfway through the month and we're on pace for that. But we need your support. If you're not already supporting us, it's only $1 a month at the base. And if you want to give us more, we've got some perks to thank you for that as well. But we work on the value for value model. If you get value out of the show, give some value back at patreon.com/DTNS. I also want to mention, I should have mentioned this in the main discussion. If you want to brush up on the EU situation, especially if you're in the EU and you're thinking about writing your member of the European Parliament, publishersright.eu is the publisher's side of this story. And then saveyourinternet.eu is one of the places that has the opposition side of the story. And there's a few others like that as well. But those are some starting places to get each side's perspective on the story. So go and check it out and make up your own mind.
If you want to have your voice heard, one very easy way to do that is to write us at feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We're also live Monday through Friday. If you can join us, great. 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 2030 UTC, and find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live.
Back tomorrow with Patrick Norton and Len Peralta will be illustrating. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Exactly 30 minutes today.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swoosh.
Good show, everybody.
Yeah, good show.
Good show.
Good show. I say, old bean.
Oh.
Capital show.
Oh, old sport.
So, what are we going to call this good show?
What do we? Hold on. Shibet. Let's see. What do we
Chicago
got?
says, "Can you dig it?"
Can you dig it?
That's funny.
That's
Yeah.
from the Warriors movie.
Chicago says, "Can you dig it?" Elon says, "Yes."
Elon says, "I will, and I'll pay for it." What are you
Not
gonna
only that, but I'll pay for it.
Paper scrape and the thieves are crying in private.
The thieves are crying in private. It's pretty funny too.
I mean, I think I've seen this one before. Boring company digs itself into a hole.
Yeah, except that's kind of a negative connotation, and this time it's
But
about
I like Chicago says, "Can you dig it?" Just because of the movie reference.
Yeah.
What if we say, Boring Company says, "Can you dig it?" Just to open it up, or
Well, no, but it's Chicago that's saying.
I know. I'm just thinking, like, if someone's like Chicago, I don't know.
Oh, you're trying to get Boring Company in the name because then searching. Yeah. No, I see. Boring Company says we can dig it.
We can dig it.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
So it's a collaborative effort between Sarah and BioCow.
Yeah.
Thank you, BioCow. Couldn't have done it without you.
BioCow. I didn't turn on my Diamond Club light today. That BioCow made me.
Let's see it, Tom.
I had it on the other day. Then I turned it off to save the battery. Ta-da!
Oh, that's so nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you, BioCow. Bark, bark. Boring Company says we can dig it.
It's funny. Every once in a while, you know, a Night Attack fan will like respond to something of mine on Twitter where I'm like, I don't, you know, sometimes it makes sense, and sometimes I'm like, I don't really know what this means.
Yeah.
But when you see the brackets, you're like, okay, I know who you are. Gotcha.
No, very often
We're friends.
Yeah.
We're comrades.
some kind of weird inside joke or something that got
No,
made
it's great. It's
5
great.
years ago.
Yeah. No, it always helps me because I'm like, okay.
Like, okay.
You're my friend.
Good.
Yeah.
Not like what the hell did you just? Oh, okay, gotcha.
You're like,
Right.
oh,
Got
problem
it.
solved.
Yeah. Same team. Problem solved. By the way, problem solvers.
Let's
the
bring
heck?
that back. We'll do
Let's
it.
do it.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Night Attack, for if anybody's watching, we did have the tour merch, put it up on the internet. All the stickers are sold out. However, our rad fanny packs still available.
Now, see, you got to tell me. You got to tell me when those sell out, and then I can give you the Brian Brushwood worn fanny pack that I have in my house.
Well,
With the Brian Brushwood sticker on it. Or wait, it might be Bryce Castillo worn with the Brian Brushwood sticker on it.
got the Brian sticker on it.
Yeah.
Wait, so this is in your house right now, Tom?
Oh yeah.
Why don't we have it on display?
It's in the other room. Go get it.
Why not? I mean,
I'll be right back.
not
No,
trying to put you on
Tom. We got it. This is the fanny pack here.
I love that thing.
Oh, dude, it's pretty awesome.
Fanny packs are also like, they're like cool again.
Are they?
People no, like
Were they? I don't ever remember them ever being cool.
Well, fanny packs, they are it's a way to carry stuff around that, doesn't require you to, use your arm. For some reason over, I don't know, however many years, it became that's like a mom and dad thing. Nobody uses those, but now they're back because people are like, no, actually they're really helpful.
This is a Neshcom game worn fanny pack.
That was with our Brian AIM sticker that was in the sticker pack that have sold out. But anyway, bit.ly/Night Attack merch. A story that we told on Night Attack, Sarah, is we were done with the LA show and we came back and we were because we had not drank enough at that point. We went to a bar, and there was a woman there that was very upset because she is a bag designer. She saw my fanny pack and she got very upset because she feels that this new resurgence in these bags is leading to cheap bags flooding the market when she has something that is.
Oh, yeah, because there are no cheap purses in the market. It's all the fanny pack's fault.
I think it's safe to say that she was in her cups, and there was a reason why she was being as
Perhaps
angry as she was. But that was like one of the times that I realized when we bought these that this is actually like kind of fashion forward, or at least like it is enjoying a resurgence.
It's
The bum bag is
definitely in a resurgence. The fanny pack is back. Whether or not you want to, wear one, all up to you. Some purse maker being like, "Why are you doing this to me?" is like, yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Because she then inspected the bag, like she asked to see it, and she was like stress testing the straps and like opening the zippers really fast or zipper really fast. It was a weird scene.
Did she finally come out on the other side of it? Like, okay, this is a fine.
No, she said it was crap.
She didn't like it.
She kept looking at it with disgust. She would like open up the zipper and be like,
have we, not to throw anybody under the bus, have we looked at her purse line?
She showed it to us. We did find the website, and we have declined to mention because we told a very unflattering to her version of the story on the podcast that we have declined to give out the website. But
right, and that's probably for the best. Suffice to say, maybe she.
Listen, they're very nice.
Feeling a little bristly.
She showed us the bag, and it was good. It was like a double shoulder kind of thing. I think it is kind of more for if you're looking for the designer version of a bag to wear to a music festival. Then that would be a good way to go about it. But
right, yeah. The next time I go to a music festival, I'll definitely want to have a designer version of
your designer bum bag.
Two-shoulder brand. Like, what are we even talking about? I just want to hold my, chapstick.
Here's why I think the fanny pack thing is coming back is the popularity of yoga pants and tights. Like yoga pants and tights, I feel like over the past 5 years have become way more just a thing, not only with girls, but with guys too. I know a lot of guys that just wear
pants
things. Well, so, okay. As the token woman in this conversation, I'll tell you, yoga pants have been around before any of us were alive.
Yes.
They'll be around after we all die. Yoga pants for men, I agree, is like, okay, kind of a new phenomenon. Cool.
So wait,
yoga pants aren't new, but wouldn't you agree that there is a resurgence in their use?
Not with women. Women have been doing this for the dawn of man.
I don't know.
Trust me, Tom Merritt.
Hold on. Hear me out. It's not that women haven't been wearing yoga pants since they were invented. I haven't seen them wearing them in as many different situations as they seem to in the past few years. Like
give me an example of a situation that
just like grocery shopping, at dinner, like. It used to be like, oh, if you saw someone in them, they were either having a casual day or they had just worked out. Now it's people are just wearing them in all. I feel like I see people wearing them everywhere.
I would say it's less yoga pants for me because I think that kind of athletic wear has always had a space in any kind of fashion, let alone my, albeit paltry, understanding of women's fashion. What I would say is more of a thing is tights, only because there are now so many selections, because printing them is so cheap from China that like any of these things that are just make more of, you can have more fashion options. I feel like that has exploded, at least in my household. Ashley has bought more tights than any other fashion thing that she bought.
Well, and you're also in the Bay Area, so it's like tights are great. Right? Like you got a cute outfit, but you got tights, so you're not cold later type thing.
Yeah, this might be more
I
of a
will
question.
say, and yoga pants for women, they've been around. They've been
Well,
around.
I know. Not arguing they haven't been around, but like their use has boomed and declined.
As someone who's paid attention somewhat on a purely academic basis, they've been around since I was a kid.
No,
Like, no. And what I'm saying, what I'm going to say is, I have seen their use in all the situations you alluded to. When I was in junior high, at least junior high, that's what
regularly, every day,
Yes.
all over the place. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But
Except for maybe the office.
So you don't think there's been any? Neither one of you think there's been any change in the usage of yoga pants?
No.
Then explain this Denver Post story from April 28th, called "How Yoga Pants Became the New Jeans."
That is a clickbait story, Tom.
Yes.
Perhaps you've heard of them.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's
Yoga
confirmed by
pants have-
worldview. It must be.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The New York Times,
of all,
February
Denver.
17th.
Denver people know more about yoga than even LA people, perhaps. It's sometimes you just want something stretchy that
Doesn't need a belt.
doesn't need a belt. And also, like, you can eat at a restaurant and people might be like, you're casual, but like you're not being inappropriate.
The New York Times, February 17th. Many were dressed in the latest fashion, leggings with patterns of translucent mesh cut out of them like sporty doilies.
The person who wrote that article was 90.
No. That's a particular now fashionable. That's a different matter. If you're just talking like straight like tights, yoga pants, that article is specifically referencing like design, which is new. I will give you that. Like design.
So that's where I'm trying to go. Is like
but
there's something new here.
But you're alluding to the fact that people are wearing that general genre of outfits more so now than they did before, and I don't agree. Now they might be wearing ones that might be considered high fashion compared to like just the ones you would get at the athletic section of the department store.
Fast Company, April 2015. There was a time when wearing anything less than a tweed jacket or a tailored shift left you undressed in a college classroom. What's with all the yoga pants?
Wait,
denim sales are down. The athleisure trend is hot, and everybody's vying for a piece of the Lululemon market.
Tweed jackets in a college classroom? I've never seen that in my life.
No, go back to forget that stupid sentence. Denim sales are down. The athleisure trend is hot, and everybody's vying for a piece of the Lululemon market.
Oh, because it's stretchy and comfortable.
well, no, that could lead. That means that there are increased sales, which is not something I don't agree. Is something that I do not discount.
You agreed to
I'm
the
just saying,
statement
like
that there has been no change in the usage of these.
Sarah,
Listen, I remember going to the grocery store, and there are a lot of women who wore them because they were very easy to put on, and they would wear them with flip flops, and they would just wear a t-shirt on top. It's not. This was back in the early 90s.
Again, no one's saying that this was invented yesterday.
No, I'm not saying that it's invented. What I'm saying is that
NBC News, March 25th. Move over, yoga pants. Is performance denim the new go-to for busy moms?
I don't know, NBC News. Probably not.
Can I ask you a question, Sarah? Do you have a sense that jeans have faded in popularity over the past 10 years?
Get it? Faded.
No?
No, not at all. Jeans have become stretchier.
Okay.
Which we all thumbs up to that.
Yeah.
Because, depending on if it's the 1st of the month or the 15th or the 30th,
Sure.
I need a little stretch. Okay. We'll just leave it at that.
There's a long Quora post.
The whole
when did
idea
yoga
of
pants fashion trend start?
Yoga pants, for anybody who's like, yoga, I don't do yoga. What does that even mean? Like, really, we're talking about it's leggings, right? It's tights, but you can wear them alone because they're not, you can't see through them.
They used to be referred to as stretch pants.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they are. So in that sense, like, no, everyone just likes stretching their stuff a little bit more, especially when it, comes to the lower part of your regions when, you want something to be hugging, but not restrictive.
So I heard a story, and this could be totally hearsay because it came third hand, that they're a CEO of a major jeans retailer was lamenting to somebody in a moment of privacy that they, as a CEO, screwed up by not buying Lululemon when they had a chance. That they felt that this was a shifting sand, that they did not, he as a leader did not do his due diligence to bring under their corporate umbrella. And part of it was because he was seeing declining jean sales and obviously a rise in that brand, Lululemon specifically, brand of athletic wear.
Well, he probably has a point. Lululemon is wildly popular, and it's, yes. Do you want to run in, sports bra and some yoga pants? Great.
Yeah.
Or just kind of be cute in them, or, feel, like you're not being sort of schlubby. Great. Lululemon has done really well with that. Clearly not the only brand to do so. No. But I mean,
the stretchy pants debate cannot be settled today. It is too complex. There are too many perspectives on it.
Dude, by the way, all of this is to say that as these things have become popular or remained popular or became less popular, the idea of a fanny pack, a pocketless pants,
and that's where it all started.
That's right.
That's right. Like, hey, cool fanny pack, Night Attack. Let's really argue with each other about yoga pants.
Trend of yoga pants over the past 30 years.
The debate will continue for patrons. For those watching on the video, thank you so much for tolerating this discussion. And we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Just